Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we would like to summarize what we have presented about topic of the role of the culture in the class. Culture is a collection of values, belief, behavior, custom and attitudes that distinguish one society from another. It is adaptive and shared by members of the society and defines the membership in the society. The basic elements of culture are social structure, language, communication, religion, and values and attitudes. The interaction of this element affects the local environment in which international business operates. Basic to every society is its social structure, the overall framework that determines the roles of individuals, families, and groups within the society, and the stratification of the society and the individual mobility within the society. Language is a primary delineator of cultural groups because it organizes the way members of society think about the world and filters observation and perception. It also provides clues about the cultural values of the society and aids acculturation. The presence of more than one language group is an important signal about the diversity of a country's population and suggests differences in income, cultural values, and educational achievement.
So next, language. Language is being used as a competitive weapon in a certain culture. This is because of some linguistic ties and linguistic legacy of colonialism. People know that English is being used as a predominant language because every country learns how to speak English as a second language. So translation will be needed if you don't understand certain language. So it will be hard to do business deals or meetings, especially in international business. So if using back translation, it can be misleading or the points that you would like to say came out differently. Next, we can see that some common words of the other country might sound the same but giving out different meanings. So if someone is not professionally or fully understand the language, it can lead to misunderstanding while doing some business. So here are some examples of non-verbal communication. First is facial expression, hand gesture, intonation, eye contact, body positioning and body posture. This is really important for us to, especially when we are doing some business with international or we are representing our company or staff. This can play a big role in our company, whether we achieve that certain business or not. Other than that, gift giving and hospitality also play a big roles when we are doing an international business deal. Important means of communication. It will show us how we communicate with giving a care or showing different gift giving ethics or different attitudes toward our customers or our client. So hospitality custom also differ. We can also show that our sincerity through this gift giving and hospitality. Other than that, communicating bad news also can show how we respect our clients or our opinion when we are giving some bad news. Whether we reject their offer, we would not continue to have that deal together.
Elements of culture religion. First is shapes the attitudes of adherents. It means that this religion forms the attitude of a person's belief. For example, in doing business with Muslim, it is necessary to obey Sharia. Concerning the roles of individual in society, regular religious practice generally inoculates individuals against a host of social problems including suicide, crime, and divorce. Next, religion affects consumer buying behavior. For example, Muslim must buy something that is halal. Religion affects seasonal patterns of consumption. For example, in Islam, when it's fasting time, must buy tea. Next, impact on international business. Legal system. It means that a country has an independent legal system. Homogeneity of religious belief. For example, all Muslim women must cover their aurat whether they are in a different country. Next, values and attitudes. They are time, age, education, and status. High context culture have a communication style based on body language and tone, while low context culture are more straightforward and explicit in communication. In low context culture, people tend to say what they mean and mean what they say. In a high context culture, communication is often indirect. Lastly, business behavior in this low context culture is more formal and structured, while this high context culture is more informal and flexible.
Many international businesses instinctively utilize the cultural cluster approach in formulating their internationalization strategies and foreign market entry methods. The cultural cluster approach is a more efficient way for a company that wants to expand its market to other countries as it helps the company summarize intercultural similarities and differences all at the same time. Because within each cluster, nations are similar in 3 to 4 cultural value orientations, including their languages, history, beliefs, and religions. The half-state model of national culture consists of 6 dimensions, including social orientation, power orientation, uncertainty orientation, and others. For social orientation, this dimension is divided into individualism and collectivism. On the individualist side, we find cultures in which everyone is expected to look after themselves and their immediate family first. They have an attitude of independence and freedom from control. While on the collectivist side, we find cultures in which individuals expect their relatives or members of a particular in-group to look after them in exchange for unquestioning loyalty. For collectivism, importance is placed on the concept of we instead of I, with closely connected groups within the population working together.
Next, I will explaining about power orientation. There are 2 types of power orientation, which is power tolerance and power respect. Power tolerance emphasizes equality, inclusivity, and the participatory decision-making, while power respect emphasizes obedience, hierarchy, and the acceptance of inequalities. Different cultures, organizations, or individuals may lean towards one orientation more than the others, influencing how power dynamics are perceived and practiced. Next is uncertainty orientation. Uncertainty orientation refers to an individual or a culture tendency to either accept or avoid uncertainty and ambiguity. There are 2 types of uncertainty orientation, which is uncertainty acceptance and uncertainty avoidance. For example, in uncertainty acceptance, they believe that uncertainty and ambiguity are great opportunities. Meanwhile, for uncertainty avoidance, they believe uncertainty and ambiguity create threats and challenges.
Table 4.6 shows the extremes of goal orientations. Passive behavior based on the cultural belief that social relationships, quality of life, concerns for others are the basis of motivation and reflect the goals that the person should pursue. Many Nordic countries exhibit these passive goals beliefs such as Denmark and Finland, while aggressive goals believe that material possessions, money, assertiveness underline motivation and reflect the goals that a person should pursue. For long-term time orientation, this category deals with the extent to which members of a culture adopt a long-term outlook versus a short-term outlook regarding life, work, and other issues. While for short-term orientation, it's a societies that tend to look to the past and the present more than to the future. Indulgence means the degree which a culture allows human nature to direct its behavior. While for restraint, it is the preference of duty over the freedom. It's a characteristic of societies which practice restraint. For example, in such cultures, life is considered to be hard and having fun is less encouraged. Self-reference criterion is an unconscious reference to one's own culture values, experience and knowledge as a basis for decisions. Secondly, acculturation is a process which an individual adopts, acquire and adjusts to a new cultural environment as a result of being placed into a new culture or when another culture is brought to someone. Last but not least, cross-cultural literacy is understanding how the culture of a country affects the way business is practiced.